That is listening to understand. We always listen to answer. Even while we are listening somebody, we are preparing the answer in our mind. And this is the biggest cause of the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law problem in the world. Well, the topic given to me today is a business heart, not just a business mind. And perhaps you will be more surprised that how would a sannyasi, a sadhu, talk on this particular topic when he has never done any business in his life, when he has not done any professional job in his life, and when he has not done any money-churning activity in his life. But the fact is that certain principles apply in all the fields. You would be surprised to know that some of the coaches of IT professionals in Silicon Valley in California are actually football coaches. They say that the principles of football, they ideally apply in IT. Principles and norms of football, they ideally apply in the IT industry as well. The executives of Google, the executives of Microsoft, the executives of many giant IT companies are being trained by football coaches. Because the basic principles of training a person, when it comes to disciplines and norms, when it comes to ethical values in life, when it comes to time management, when it comes to a combination of head and heart, applies to all the activities, whichever field you undertake. So those are common principles. So when you talk of a business heart and not just a business mind, it reminds me of a book which I read many years back, and many of you might have read, and it is one of the most decorated management book ever written upon this planet. I'm talking of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, written by none other than one of the most celebrated management gurus upon this earth, Stephen Covey. In which he met, interviewed, learned about the life of more than 3,000 successful businessmen upon this earth. Successful as a businessman, as a husband, as a wife, as a father, as a mother, as a brother, as a sister. Successful in all walks of life. He understood their thought processes. He understood their basic behavioral patterns. He understood their basic working styles. And then in concludes, he writes this book in which he writes that these are the 7 habits that I have found common in these people who were successful in all walks of life. The first habit was proactive. मतलब प्रतिकूल परिस्थिति में सानुकूल प्रतिभाव. In all circumstances, in opposing situations, you still respond positively. That was their mark, that was their winner. प्रतिकूल परिस्थिति में सानुकूल प्रतिभाव. They teach not to react but to respond after taking the whole picture into consideration. In the utmost negatives thrown at you by people, by circumstances, by work, try to pour out your heart to respond most positively. Because you stand a caliber, you want to create a situation that could become a source of inspiration for all the people who know it. When you have negatives in front of you, your business mind will tell you, tit for tat, and as we learned, butter for fat. But your business mind will teach you tit for tat. But your business heart, Stephen Covey teaches you that don't give a negative response to a negative action. remain to the best positive that you can. If not to better the situation, at least for your internal stability and peace. Situation may or may not better by your positive response, but definitely it will land you in a state of positive stability and peace, proactivity. Respond to every situation to the best of human caliber that you know, you possess, and you want to exhibit. That is proactivity. That is a business heart, not just a business mind. Second, he writes, begin with the end in mind. Second habit these people possessed was, begin with the end in mind. Whatever you start, a business or a relationship, you need to have some picture of the end result that you expect, you want, and you want to design. Before you start, you must know where the end is. You start a journey from home. You want to go to Uti. Present times you can't. Today at least no. Because it is all waterlogged. I got the pictures from one of our volunteers and I saw it. So before you start the journey, you know the end point. You also need to have your travel plans. That is a business mind. Begin with the end in mind. And when you have the end in mind, smallest of hindrances to the largest of obstacles, you will be able to overcome because you have the final goal in your mind. That you want to reach there. Any obstacle, you will yourself find the route, which is called the bypass route. Stephen Covey writes that you will be able to overcome all your obstacles and hurdles, provided you have the end in mind. Third habit, putting first things first. Priority. Normal habit of a business mind is you start the day and the task with the easiest things that you can do. And with the tougher ones, difficult to do, I'll do it later. You start with the easiest and the small things that you can do, you feel happy about, you feel satisfied about, that you got out of the 9 things to do today, you got tick in 5 before lunchtime. Give priority, that is a business mind. Putting first things first. Fourth habit, think win-win. Now this is a business heart. Think win-win. I also win, you also win. I also progress, you also progress. I also make a profit, you also make a profit. I also be happy, you also be happy. I also become prosperous, you also become prosperous. That is how you do business with people. Now the times are such that nobody will be able to have his authority designed upon somebody for longer time. You can cheat a person once, not twice. And you can never cheat a mass. Now those days are gone. So think win-win. You also win, I also win. In the business that we do between us, I also gain and you also gain. Now the days are gone that you can, out of ignorance of somebody, you can gain all the profit of that deal. You also gain, I also gain. Because in times of this open atmosphere, in times of internet, in times of so much of information sharing and caring, in times of this information highway that we have, everybody is aware of everything happening around. Everybody is aware of quality of products. So think win-win is again a business heart and not just a business mind. Fifth habit this successful people had was seek first to understand and then to be understood. This is again a business heart and not a business mind. Seek first to understand. During a conversation with somebody, or when you are sitting across the table for a business deal with somebody, you need first to understand what he actually says. You need to understand what actually he means. For that, Stephen Covey has termed a very beautiful term, emphatic listening. Listen with empathy. So listen not just to answer, listen to understand the person. Normally this empathic listening doesn't happen. That is listening to understand. We always listen to answer. Even while we are listening somebody, we are preparing the answer in our mind. And this is the biggest cause of the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law problem in the world. The biggest cause of mother-in-law, daughter-in-law problem upon this earth is because of this. They don't listen to understand. They listen to answer. It's the root cause of all issues. So it is again a business heart that you listen to understand the person. Everybody has an opinion and he stands by that opinion in his house or at office, that actually if everybody does what I say, everybody can prosper. But then everybody has this opinion. In the home, everybody has an opinion that if all the members in the family, they do as I say, they will all be happy. But then everybody holds this opinion in the house. How will you run the show? So business heart means you learn, you listen to understand the person, understand his opinion, understand his views, understand his perspective, and thereby you answer. That is called emphatic listening. That is a business heart and not just a business mind. Sixth habit is the most important of all habits, as Stephen Covey puts. Sixth habit is synergy. We know what is energy. Stephen Covey has put the letter S as a prefix to energy, and that is called synergy. Finally described by him that this successful people had a habit of synergy. And what is that synergy? When two or more than two people, they come together, decide to work or stay together, decide upon a project, start discussions on it, they have their difference of opinions, yet they remain committed to work together. After the discussion, they come to a CMP, common minimum program, the way to execute it. They decide to work together, they work together, produce a result. That result is acceptable to both. They are happy about it. And in that happiness, an energy is created again to come together to do the next project. That is called synergy.